Rhubarb Reminiscence, Meath Park, Saskatchewan by Emily Zbaraschuk.
One July 1st weekend, my mom, newly married, decided that she was going to make my dad his favorite food, a fresh strawberry rhubarb pie. She had found the rhubarb, a sad, measly little plant, growing under a lilac tree in the yard. There were just enough stalks to make the rich, custard-filled pie, a recipe that had been in our family for years. Being a particularly hot day, she baked the pie in as little time as possible and set it to cool on the counter. Later, she proudly sliced a piece for her husband and awaited his praises. He took a bite, swallowed, and said, "It's very good." Then, "Is the rhubarb supposed to be crunchy?" My mom left the table in a huff, but today laughs about the humble pie she made out from that undercooked, dried-out rhubarb. Rhubarb is a staple in our house. We grow it, jam it, bake it, and juice it. The red stem is tart, and the leaves are poisonous, yet it's one of my favorite foods. As well as being delicious, rhubarb has a fascinating history. Originally from China, rhubarb root was used as medicine over 4,000 years ago. When Europe started trading with China, rhubarb was a hot commodity, and occasionally China would stop rhubarb trade as a way to get what they wanted during international conflicts. By the late 1700s, rhubarb seeds were available in Europe, and in the 1820s, rhubarb stalks were used in recipes for the first time. In fact, Queen Victoria loved rhubarb tarts so much that they were all the rage at her coronation.
Very good rhubarb tart.
Around the same time period, rhubarb arrived in Canada courtesy of the Hudson Bay Company, which recognized its medicinal value. Not only did it help prevent scurvy, but it kept early traders running for the loo on a regular basis. In Meath Park, the village that I live near, almost everyone, despite their different cultural backgrounds, loves rhubarb. Almost every neighbor you visit has a rhubarb plant growing in their yard, from the Zelinskis to the Lavoys to the Browns and the Broussards. And when you think about it, rhubarb is a lot like the people living in my community. Like rhubarb, most are transplants from faraway places. Their ancestors came here to make a better life for themselves, and now, over a century later, most feel like they have always belonged here. Like rhubarb, my neighbors have been resilient, surviving harsh winters, drought, and difficult living conditions. Like rhubarb, in the early days of their arrival, the flavor they added to the community was not always embraced by those who saw them as foreign and unknown, possibly even toxic. Over time, though, acceptance grew, appreciation followed, and today these different ingredients are what make our community so vibrant and rich. If you visit my community in the summer, you can bet that there will be at least one rhubarb pie, cobbler, or crisp at any event you come to. And at those barbecues and potlucks, few would be able to tell you if rhubarb is a fruit, vegetable, or herb, as no one really cares about putting a label on it. All we know is that it is a part of who we are and where we have come from. Like us, it just belongs in Canada.
The instructions to make a rhubarb strawberry pie appear on the screen. Video description by Peak Media and CNST Montreal.